We talked about the deeper the lug, the more traction, but also the more dirt it throws up in front of that sled, harder it is to pull. So we'll be watching as we go, Dallas.
Once again, we can't do this event without our sponsors, and of course, we have to thank Yorkton Hyundai for their huge sponsorship. They are our title sponsors, but we also have some major sponsors that helped out. And of course, Olsen Diesel Limited. If you need your truck repaired, your diesel tuned up, that's an excellent place to go. We're so lucky in Yorkton to have so many good diesel shops in town. Also, I want to thank Yorkton and Raymore and Watrous New Holland. They're out there working hard, keeping our track straight. And Yorkton Distributors, they're the ones that provided the VIP seating. Not only did they pay money to be here, they brought their own seats. That's the way to do it. Art got to go for a ride in the Big Red Express, and he's one of our great sponsors, and he is always up to helping out an organization in Yorkton. So thank you to Art and Ray and all of them at Yorkton Distributors. Home Hardware is one of our platinum sponsors, and of course we have to thank them for all of the stuff that they have brought us today here. Outdoor Sporting and Construction, and another one of our fantastic diesel shops in town, Dave's Diesel, another one of our platinum sponsors.
And a huge thank you to all those guys and gals, as Dallas mentioned there. Without them, we couldn't come down to your great city here and play. And without all you folks in the stands.
Absolutely.
That support is so appreciated by all of us.
And we got to thank the Yorkton Fire Department for showing up here and keeping us all safe. Like I said, I hope we don't need them. I really hope we don't need them. But it's good to know that we have one of the highest trained fire departments in Saskatchewan, right here in Yorkton, Saskatchewan.
We're moving it up to these mini tractors. See a whole line of them there. There's a couple, actually 3 classes of these guys in some cases. Right now, I believe we have 2 classes here. Quite a group of these guys. The modified mini tractor class. They got to weigh 1,800 pounds. And they do make some power. Now the super minis that we're going to be seeing coming up, they can get upwards of 130, 135 mile an hour rear wheel speed. These guys are somewhere in the 100 mile an hour range when they're under full song and those tires are singing. Now if they got good hook, that wheel speed is going to drop down.
And you know, driving one of these things is kind of like taming a rattlesnake. You figure it out. Basically, you have a chassis that's about the size of your lawnmower, and you stuff something that has 5 to 1,000 horsepower, and yeah, you're along for the ride.
That you are. So, Ted Voigt, out of Odessa, the alcohol abuse hot rod. Now this thing is on methanol, 454 in it, and Teddy puts the pedal down. Now these guys use a hand throttle. They've got individual wheel brakes. A lot of times, again, this is 2-wheel drive pulling, so if they have too much weight on the front, it does not transfer all the way to the back tires. If they have not enough weight on the front, they get a big old gigantic wheelie going, and the end result is they don't get a distance either. So they not only have to tune their motors for the air that's going to be changing from here on in, they also have to do tire pressure, and they got to get that weight right. So if that left front wheel is just teetering on the ground, that means they've got it just right. The right front should be just touching the ground enough to control it. Use individual wheel brakes. Keep them straight. There we go! 304!
And he used all of the trap too. Like I said, taming a rattlesnake.
He used everything that I just talked about. He was a little light on the front end. Those front wheels are up. He was poking the wheel brakes to try and keep it in bounds. That's exactly what happened. Now, every time they do that, they scrub off speed. When they scrub off speed, it's no different.
next, ladies and gentlemen, we have one of our tractors from our local pulling team, LT Motorsports, Larry Hillworth. We've got our Humboldt Strong tractor. And ladies and gentlemen, the driver of this, Brian Lowe, we call him Puff. And if any of you have been in the demo circuit, you'll know Puff because he was a demolition derby driver for years. Another thing he done is snowmobile racing. And he raced all kinds of snowmobiles, just like the ones you can go out and see at Art Belause's Super Tracks Museum. But Larry was looking for a driver for this Humboldt Strong tractor, and he phoned up Puffer and said, "Do you want to drive a pull tractor?" He said, well, he was mud racing at that time. So now he's running this tractor, and he fell in love with this tractor, and I believe now he is an owner of this tractor. He was so proud to drive this Broncos Strong tractor that Brian Lowe is now the owner of this tractor, but he's running it in the LT Motorsports racing stable. So we're just trying to get the Yorkton New Holland tractor down there. We're gonna back up the start a little bit before we get the Humboldt Strong tractor. And I don't know a lot about the tractor, and that's where Wayne comes in. He knows everything about everything, mechanical, motor-wise, and he's also a 30-year veteran firefighter. 44. Sorry, I didn't count right.
That's okay.
You only look 25.
It doesn't matter, man. We both do the same thing. What he's doing right now is packing the whole tractor. These guys have roughed it up, fluffed it up, and it's been re-leveled so many times they got to get a little pack in here again. We just saw the alcohol abuse mini go 304.08, and we're going to see what Brian can do with this hot rod. There's 565 cubic inches of Merlin Chevy on alcohol. And this Merlin unit is an aftermarket company that took the big block Chevy, the Mark IV, which was started out as a 396 back in the day, went to a 427. When the smog laws hit in the early 70s, they cranked it up to 454. Merlin came along and said, well, geez, we can do better. So bigger bore, longer stroke, in other words, way more cubic inches, and this one happens to be 565 cubic inches. And Brian's first pull ever in this tractor was in Odessa, and he placed 4th. First time he ever crawled into the seat of that thing. And you know, he's been in motorsports for years. That's the first time I ever seen him nervous. First time I ever seen him nervous, and he's driven some pretty wild snowmobiles, pretty wild mud trucks. Well, you know, you take 800 horsepower and put it in a 2,000-pound two-wheel drive unit.
Right between your legs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like an alcohol sprint car. I raced them for quite a few years. About the same horsepower. That transmission's right in between your legs. Things could go sideways. You
do a lot of praying before you start.
Yes, you do. So, again, you see the Dick Seebeck type pullers there. Muchly modified those back tires. And a lot more lugs on this style that he's got on there. Each one of those lugs about a 1/4 of an inch deep. And the idea there is to grab that dirt the best you can without throwing a ton of it back in front of the sled. So let's see what Mr. Lowe can do here. He's got to beat that magic number of 304.08. Totally misjudged that front weight. We talked about that. It looks so cool.
Exactly.
I ride a muchly modified Suzuki Hayabusa, and it does exactly that kind of thing on the drag strip. They don't want that. He didn't put near enough weight on the front. We talked about moving that weight around. They totally misjudged that. There was way more hook there than he wanted. But boy, does that look cool, right?
Absolutely.
Yes. They just didn't get him as far as he wanted to go with a 273. But you know what? He's going to go back. They're going to go, holy crap, did we miss that? Add a bunch more weight to the front. That Humboldt Broncos rig is going to be right in the hunt.
Right, yeah, it for sure is a contender, that's for sure. And it'll be back tomorrow, putting on a show.
What time, Dallas? Are we doing
tomorrow? We start basically the same time. We're at 5 o'clock with the antiques, And the big show starts at 6. So make sure you get your tickets. It's supposed to be a relatively decent day again. Another 26 on the thermometer. So we got Yorkton, New Holland squishing up. You know, I feel bad for Ron and his staff because them beautiful little Hyundai cars are getting dusty over there.
Yeah, they are.
So their detailed crew over at Yorkton Hyundai are going to have to get them all shined up for Monday morning.
That is for sure, you know, and this is good. These guys did such a great job of preparation. Very little dust here. Very, very little.
This is a good track, and you got to thank all of the people that we put together with it. And Ray Blouse brought all of his equipment in to help build the track here. And we have to thank Delwyn with Limerick Trucking. He brought all of the products. So he must have been hoarding all this good clay, and he hauled it in here, built this track. And we're doing an awesome job of keeping the horsepower to it.
Now we got an interesting combination here. Those 4 or 5 of you guys that cheered for Dodge. Monty Getz, he's been pulling, he pulled a lot of years ago, and now he has got a new configuration in this mini tractor. It's a 5.7 liter Hemi. Came out of a early old Dodge pickup.
Like you can buy in your regular pickup truck. That's a Hemi.
Exactly, that style of Hemi. So what he did, he went to an auto wrecker, found a Hemi, got the aftermarket ignition to control it, because all those were computer controlled. But he does not have the fuel injection system. There's a big old tunnel ram on there, huge, high, tall intake manifold with a big, huge 4-barrel Holly on top. So this is basically internally a stock 5.7 liter Dodge Hemi that comes in anybody's pickup or the Dodge Chargers and so on down the line. So that Monty's really got into that. He's going to be bringing another tractor out here with several of those in there. A little story to tell you when he brings this multi-engine tractor out. But this is a 5.7 Hemi. Again, you see those back tires, lots of lugs on them, the CPAC style.
And Monty drives, I'll tell you. And he's definitely having a fuel delivery issue right there.
He does. He's going to have to go back and slap his pit man. Did you put fuel in my gas tank? You quit?
It happens. It happens.
Fuel supply for sure. They run electric fuel pump to bring the fuel up. That Holly just was not getting fuel. That was the whole problem. There's enough getting in there to keep it running, but not enough to open up the secondaries on that big Holly carburetor. So Monty's going to go back and do a little bit of a rethink there. They'll check out their fuel pressure, their fuel flow. It could even be something as simple as a filter.
Yeah. And you're going to see him a little bit later on in our modified tractor class. He has one with 3 of them buggers on it.
There's a story behind that when he was telling me a little earlier. We'll talk about that when he gets there. So, we still got to beat 30408 laid down by alcohol abuse. That is the benchmark set by Ted Boyd with that big old Chevy.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we got to thank some more of our sponsors. Another group of our silver sponsors here today. We got Paul Moore in the auction group, Yorkton Auction Center. We were out there a couple of weekends ago for a big car show that they put on there. It was a great event. And Synergy. Synergy is one of our newest fertilizer distributors in the area, and I know that they're building a brand new facility just south of Yorkton here. Looking forward to that. And of course, if you need some parts, whether it's heavy duty or light duty parts, Traction right here in Yorkton. Truck Pros, they'll get you looked after.
Now we got Tanner Vogt coming up. He's driving a Ford, you guys, you Ford fans. He's the man. This is a 351 Cleveland. Now to tell you a little story about Ford and their motors. The 351s came out 3 different configurations. The Cleveland was the hot rod. That's what was out in the late 60s, early 70s. They made the horsepower. That was in all their Mustangs, Cougars, Torino SCJs, all the small block stuff. This was the potent small block. Then the smog laws hit in the early 70s, 71, 72. They came up with the 351M series, which is Michigan or modified. That was their smog motor. Then they also had the Windsor The Windsor was also a motor that was improved on the Michigan version. So this is a Hot Rod 351 Cleveland, and he buzzes this thing. It's somewhere north of 8,000 RPM when it's rigged. The only thing that kind of surprises me is he runs zoomies. We talked about that, the horsepower and torque that's available by collecting that exhaust. Looks cool, sounds cool, but short little bit in horsepower there. This thing does make power though. They've done a lot of work on this 351, and he buzzes this Hot Rod. Transmission issue there for sure. Those rear wheels were not hooking up. That could be the torque converter because there was no smoke rolling. If the tranny was slipping, there'd be smoke and oil laying on the ground. Yeah, that looked like a torque converter issue. Torque converter issue for sure, yeah. And these things have the high stall torque converters and takes a lot of RPM to get them. Oh, he's not happy, so he's just putting it out there, the Punisher. That thing would be fun in a Walmart parking lot. That thing would be fun right in Walmart. Yes, even better. Yes, like those little electric scooters. You can go on one of them. You can get your shopping done pretty quick. Well, about another 10 years, I'll be ready for a scooter, so I think I'm going to get one of them. So you guys over in the VIP side, are you having fun? Yeah, you're pretty quiet over there. There should be beer over there, is there not? Yeah, they got the beer going. Are you guys having fun on this side? Woo! Now there's a heck of a lot more of you than there is of them. They paid way more to sit there. Can you guys make more noise than them? Okay, yeah, we're gonna check. All right, you guys have paid for the really expensive seats. Let me hear you make some noise. That's not bad. That's not bad, is right. How about you guys in the cheap seats? Oh yeah. You guys wasted your money. I'm just saying. But thank you for coming. You probably have cold beer over there. We appreciate it. Don't forget to get your 50-50 tickets. You get to go for a ride with Billy Cole. If you're the lucky winner, you could win some money. Well, we've got a really cool little tractor coming up here. Love this little hot rod, just as gets. We saw Monty with his Dodge that had a fuel supply issue. This is Justice. I'd love to have that little chassis. Talk about having fun in a Walmart parking lot. That 23T bucket, all fiberglass. Monty being the Dodge guy that he is, that's got a 360 Dodge in it. There's a little 671 blower on top. It's supercharged. So it runs a little blower on a 360. Now 360 was the biggest of the LA series small blocks that Dodge built. We started out with a 273, went to a 318, then the venerable 340 that I used to drag race, then they went to the 360. That was the smog version of the 340. But now there's so many good speed parts out for that 360 LA series small block. Monty's done that. Justice has a blast in this little mini Model T. A 671 Root supercharger on there, belt driven. They're not allowed to overdrive it. I believe it's on a 1-to-1 ratio. So what I mean there is the motor turns 6,000 RPM, so does the blower. And I love the way Justice drives. He is right to the board, and he's one of the guys that I talked to about taming a rattlesnake. He loves it. He said if he's going straight, it's boring. And he has missed the weight a bit as well. He had just a nice little wheelie going there. Could have done a little better with about another 20-30 pounds on the front. But still, pretty darn good hook with a 269. Good job, Justice. Puts him in number 3 spot right now, Val. Number 1, still alcohol abuse for that 454 Chevy. Yeah, I got that. Usually the first pull isn't the best pull because they're the ones that get to find out what the track can hold, and then everybody else back in the pits can change things a little bit.
But so far, he's holding on.
He's hanging in there. Number 2 right now is the Humboldt Broncos unit. With all those big wheelies, he's still cranked at 273.39. Number 3 now is Justice with a 269.
And we still have a whole gaggle of wild ones back there, too.
We have barely got started.
Yeah, we got another one coming out of the Hillworth group that it's pretty rank. And I'm not sure who's driving it. I don't know if Brad's driving it tonight.
It says Neil on my sheet.
Neil's driving it tonight.
496 cubic inches of alcohol snorting, screaming big block Chevy. This thing buzzes. He cranks very close to 8,000 RPM out of this thing if he's under full song. So, question is, can he beat 30408?
And this team, this is another one of our Saskatchewan truck pulling teams. And these are the Rockfords out of Odessa, Saskatchewan. And the Rockford family was synonymous with tractor pulling in the 70s and the 80s. And then when little Joe Hofford came along, he was hanging around with his uncles all the time. And all of a sudden he said, well, maybe we should drag these tractors out of the bush and do something with it. So I have to take my hat off to Joe Hofford because he's definitely got the excitement of tractor pulling in southern Saskatchewan going again. And they've got one heck of a team. They brought lots of units. You're going to see some awesome little tractors and their supers coming out of the Hopper team in Odessa, Saskatchewan.
Some big horsepower with these guys. They know their stuff. Joe's the one that's really got this Western Pulling League up and running as far as I understand. And wow, what a group now. So, 496 cubes taking on the Alcohol Abuse 454. Mr. Vogt, 30408, the number to beat. Watch those 3 pink circles on that bug injector. That's what we call that injection hat. When they disappear, like right now. That didn't work. It looks like it grabbed second gear is what happened, I believe, in that automatic transmission. And created a little bit of an issue there. That motor did not light up at all. But a 276.93.
Still a pretty good run for the young fella Neil. He's been around for years and he's in second place. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for Neil Hofford.
That didn't work the way he planned, but he still did good. It didn't light the tires, didn't rev up, but the torque got him through.
Yeah, like I said, horsepower will get you there quick, but torque will get you right through it.
Yep, that's about it. We've got lots more to go. Heck, we're only on number 6, and there's 14 of these guys.
And I said, there's still some pretty nasty ones out back there. This is another one of our lady drivers, I believe, coming up. I might be wrong.
Louis Pistolka should be the one that's coming up.
I'm getting ahead of myself here.
Yeah, I think you are. Louis is coming up, according to my book here, out of Arlington, South Dakota. Thus the American flag and the American anthem for these great folks to come up from down south.
Yeah, he had to drive almost as far as the Canuck team, but they stayed in Canada.
No doubt. I live just about a half an hour west of the Nukes, so we know exactly how long
you traveled. Yeah, you traveled to get here, and what a beautiful place to be, though.
For sure, for sure. This is a great event. 572 cubes. A big block Chevy coming at us here. Lots of work, lots of money, lots of effort put into that rig. Built out down in Arlington, South Dakota. So you're right, Carly was driving it. Carly Pistolka is doing the driving. It is a lady driver. So we'll see what Carly could do against all these guys. She has been doing this quite a few years as well, from what I understand. And this is one mean little tractor. Now we're seeing a few of these guys with some tuning issues. We've seen a few of them where they totally misjudged the front weight. This tractor has so much hook. And the New Holland crew here is doing such a great job at crowd preparation. They're getting fantastic hook. Thus the wheelies. So they got to move some weight forward. I'm sure that Louis saw that and he'll be paying attention to exactly what's going on right now with this potent mini tractor. Too much power, not enough weight on the front. You saw the gigantic wheelies going on, and that's exactly what we're hoping doesn't happen here. So Carly will know the deal. When that nose comes up, she knows to get out of it. If it stays down, there's going to be some big time RPM, and we're going to see if we can beat 304.08 to get number 1, or at 276.11 to crank off number 2 position for tonight.
Another one of our American racers ready to lay it down right now.
At 339.09. Wow, that thing hooked. It's plain old hooked up, did not drag the motor down. That may be what happened to the tractor before. So it had so much hook. This one did all that torque of that big Chevy.
That was probably one of our best ones. Amazing. That's what you guys paid to come and see right there. Hey, you know, here in Yorkton, we always put on lots of events. We're going to be here tomorrow night. Again, 5 o'clock, we're starting with the antiques. And at 6 o'clock, we're starting our show. But another big event is you got to head on out to the Yellowhead International Raceway, which is our dirt track just north of town here. They have their big invitational race. And it starts at 2 o'clock, so you got to go out and check that out. Saturday and Sunday invitational race.
Sorry, Dave McCulley this time around, out of Pigeon Lake, my stomping ground, back west of Wetaskiwin. This is called the Alcoholic. It's got a 454 in it. Dave's been working on this tractor as well, trying to get the tune right, trying to get things working. He's not driving it right now. Leanne Mirren or Greg Van Summeren, either one of those two. I think Greg's in there this time around. You see the different tread on the back end. Those are modified Firestone pullers. The lugs are ground down, again, about 1/4 inch of lug, and that's the idea here, trying to get that hook without getting all that dirt in front of the sled. Now the problem with this style wheel or tire, there isn't as many lugs as there are in the CPAC type. They have a lot more lugs there to grab the ground. So we'll see how this works. Pretty sure it's Greg Van Summeren in this hot rod, and a 454. We'll see where this goes. That's a tough road to beat, a 339.1. It just does not get any better than that. So we saw our lady pilot lay down here, Carly Pasuka. Too much right-hand brake there. Further than he wanted, but you know what? Still not a bad pass. The 266, they've been working.
I still think trying to tame a real rattlesnake is a lot easier.
Yeah, that is a possibility. These guys, when you see what's going on here, wait till you see these super minis. That is going to be one wild ride for those guys.
Yeah, and any of you that didn't bring earplugs, this is the quiet part of the show. You wait till after intermission, you're going to be looking for chunks of rock, dirt, whatever, to stick in your ears. The smoker class isn't bad. The alcohol guy, he's kind of noisy. But when we get to the 3, 4, 5 engine tractors, yeah, or Allison engines, it's going to get loud. And I really feel sorry for anybody that's trying to get some sleep within about 200 miles of this place tonight. We're making some noise with our Yorkton Hyundai Thunder in the Parkland. It's the only way we do it here in Yorkton. Gotta make some noise.
We talked about those tractor lugs. Look at the pile of dirt that was pushed up in front of that sled versus some of the other piles.
I am so glad we're not putting that back in with a shovel, because you and I would be there for a while.
Thank goodness for these New Holland units here that are quite capable of leveling and packing that back down again. What a difference with those tires as to how much dirt gets thrown up there. So, we're on number 9 coming up. There's 14 of these guys. Then we're going to do a couple super minis. That's where you got at least 2,000 horsepower in a 2,000-pound tractor. And they are going to be buzzing. With the hook that's on here, this could be a really wild ride for those guys. Next hot rod, Temporary Insanity. Now that describes the driver of this thing.
Absolutely.
Robbie Cleland. Rob's been doing this forever. The disadvantage they have tonight is nobody had time on the Baduke team to sharpen the lugs on those tires. Up in Kindersley and in Darwell, in Vermilion, they scrubbed a lot of those lugs off. They didn't have time to sharpen them. This is a 510 cubic inch all aluminum alcohol injected big block Chevy, and Robbie buzzes that thing to very close to 8,000 RPM. But if you don't get the power to the ground, well, there's a question mark there. So, I don't know, 339.1, Rob, that's pretty wild. Now, if somebody was asking me here, when you see that second digit there, like 339, 1.08, that's 1.08 of an inch. Yeah, what it boils down to.
And that's what it sometimes comes down to when it's racing here.
It measures to 1/100th of an inch. So that's what that digit means back there. So Mr. Cleland has a lot of times won a lot of these events with Temporary Insanity. But, boy, has he got a tough road tonight with the 339 from Carly's distance and a 304.08 for alcohol abuse. We'll see what they can do with this Baduke pulling team modified alcohol injected mini tractor. It has won a ton over the years, but see what Gold Tires do.
Absolutely. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? After the show tonight, we're going to open up the pits and you can go back and check out some of these tractors and meet your favorite racers. You got to check out the paint job on this Vanook team tractor. It's an amazing paint job, and it's paint, it's not stickers.
And those those, I can't think of the word. What am I thinking about?
The murals.
Yeah, the murals, that's the word. They've been on there for like a bazillion years. They repainted this tractor and just cleared over top. Like that a different world. Usually those tires break loose. And they didn't. They stayed hooked. He never did get them to break loose.
That's that good Yorkton clay.
That is. I've never seen this tractor do that before. And with not enough weight on the front for the traction he had, that did not work out for him at all. Usually those flat tires cut loose and they spin in that 100 mile an hour range. For this track, with this hook, that thing was way over here. 257.8. So, Buck Peter. Let me rest and see what comes up. So, what we're seeing here with Temporary Insanity, and actually one of the first rigs that we saw earlier, where I thought he was in the wrong gear, that was just too much hook on those tires. And they're not used to that. Usually those tires spin. That didn't happen this time. Stayed hooked up. It's really dragging these motors down. So with all that torque and horsepower going down, that can really be hard on the connecting rod bearings. There's so much push on the pistons when that crank is latched to the back tires, which is latched to the ground. It can really be hard on connecting rod bearings in these motors. So hopefully nobody's going to have an issue with that. When they do their checks tomorrow morning, they'll be checking their filters to see if there's any metal particles in there. If there is, that means they got to shut her down. Kind of interesting. We were talking about alcohol with the tuning on these things as well. Now that the air is getting cooler, there's more oxygen in the air. Once we get to the point where the dew point occurs, where you start getting dew on your windshield, that replaces all that oxygen in the air with water, with molecules of water. And that changes the tune-up again. We've got to cut the methanol back. So Buck Fever.
This is Jordan, all the way from the Walmart area, Bybank. Jordan played hockey with one of the young fellas that passed away in the horrible accident. You know, as tragic as that accident was, it really brought a community, a country, and even the world together. And it's horrible that that happens, but you always have to look at the silver lining on something like that. And I really think it brought our country and our world a little bit closer. And it's great to see all of these tribute things with the tractor pulling. I know at the Yellowhead Raceway tomorrow, you're going to see some of those guys running Humboldt Strong stickers on their racetrack. So everybody is getting involved with it. And Jordan has built this tractor specifically for Adam Harold, red and white. Buck Fever, he put on one hell of a show in Odessa, Saskatchewan. He went all the way up to Kindersley and did a heck of a pull up there. Back here in Yorkton, here we go. Oh, and transmission. Yep. Transmission issues. It happens. You know the scary thing is that transmission is about here when you're driving that thing.
350 Chevy in there, and it just wasn't rigged up for all this hook. And that's why these transmission, the clutches just can't handle that. Not enough pressure from the front pump.
I say, it's that Yorkton clay. Gotta thank Delwyn for bringing it from wherever he was hiding it from.
He did a heck of a job. That shows, that separates the men from the boys when it comes to
absolutely. When you got a good track, you gotta have a good tractor or truck. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, we're pushing the 50-50 tickets because they're going to be closing the sales on 50-50 tickets before we get to our big race truck, so that you can have a chance to go for a ride with Billy Cole in the Big Red Express. So get your 50-50 tickets. Ladies and gentlemen, he's got his tractor off. He can hear you. Young Jordan Moore. Woo!
Got that poor little turbo 350 a tad warm there.
Yeah. In the mud racing thing, Wayne, you've been around the mud racing for a long time. I live and breathe Turbo 400 because that's what we run in our mud racing trucks. And we're too cheap to buy stall converters, so what we do at the line is we hold it at about 4,700 RPM in neutral and put her in first gear. Turbo 400 will take that all day. You do that to a Turbo 350, you're wearing that tranny.
You just spent some more money. A lot of the guys in the CMRO, that's who I announced for, now are running slipper clutches. And we're going to talk about that when we get into the big track this year. They don't run automatics. They run a slipper clutch. We'll talk about that whole deal once we get to that point. Yes, this is Brad Plutoff doing his thing with a 557 cubic inch big block Chevy, estimated at about 1,000 horsepower. The way this truck is dragging motors down, we're going to see if he can break those back tires loose. That's what he wants to get going with. Keep it from loading up and dropping the RPM down.
And this is another one of those fantastic LT Motorsports Brad Bluedog runner Ratified. This is one nasty mini, ladies and gentlemen. If everything, if all the ducks and all the stars and the moon and everything line up, I'm hoping to see this as a winning tractor tonight. Brad Bluedog, right here in Yorkton.
339.1 is magic number, Dallas.
Well, you guys got to cheer him on. Got to hear some noise for Brad Bluedog.
Way too much hook. Couldn't slip that thing
tomorrow. These races are going to be a lot smarter. They did not know what kind of traction we were going to get. When we walked the track, it was like walking on marshmallow. We walked the track earlier today. It was like walking on marshmallow. But between the equipment that we had building the track and the equipment we have maintaining the track, it is holding horsepower. So they're going to change things tomorrow. Different gears, different tune-up.
I think it's going to be a different day. Tire pressure, so the tires don't hook quite as hard. All kinds of problems here. Everybody's learning that this Yorkton clay is phenomenal. We're going to really see that when we get into two-wheel drives and the modified tractors as well. That's going to be very, very, very interesting. See how this ends up. So one more hot rod coming at us here. Nobody's got near that 339.1 Carly. Wow.
Yeah, well, and I think they were on their way to South Dakota, weren't they? They were going that far anyway.
She was going back home. No doubt about it. But that thing had enough power to break those tires loose, and she was able to make it happen. And they got the right weight on the front of that rig. They did a good job of just setting that tractor up for this play. No doubt. So next guy up, John Luschek. Out of Drayton Valley. Johnny's got a little 468, and when I say little, that's a little motor compared to what a lot of these other guys are running. And it's alcohol injected as well. Now, he's had some tuning issues with that thing over the last couple of years. They're working and working at it, see if they can get better at getting that power smooth and getting it to the ground. Now, all these other guys are running CPAC type tires. Look at the back tires on his rig.
Yeah, they're grippy. They almost look like monster truck tires.
Yes, they do. John believes in the deep lugs, and some tracks that works really well.
We're going to see how they work today.
We're going to find out. You're right, Dallas. This could be interesting here, because all that dirt they pile up, I'm not sure he's going to have enough horsepower to break them loose either. There's so much hook on these marshmallows as you were talking about. We'll see. We'll see. You never know until the party's over.
Yeah, the sled often is the deciding factor, but we'll see. Once again, I want to thank our VIP sponsors. They're sitting over in the cheap seats there on the other side. Yellowhead Trucking, Farrell Agencies, Richardson Pioneer Limited, Richardson International, Rocky Mountain Equipment, Dynasty Diesel and Repair, DR Auto, Newton's Landscaping, and AAA Directional Drilling.
What a great group of sponsors that have made it happen.
You know, and that's the thing when we come to the Parkland, it doesn't matter what kind of event we put on. All of these businesses, they're stepping up because they want to help out the community, and that's what it's all about. And without them, we can't put on an event like this.
And we certainly can't do it with all you great folks that are in the stands enjoying this show with us.
Absolutely, and we're gonna have a little bit of a break after the super minis here. We can go for monster truck rides.
No, sir, same problem. Not enough power for that good old Yorkton clay.
It could be that Mr. Offord in the sled there, he's pushing the brakes a little bit more than normal. I don't know.
He's pretty honest about it. There's been a discussion about that for a million years. But they've got that set automatically, so at a given distance, it just adds more and more weight. And when they get down to the end, he says, you're not winning this one, I'm going to shut you down. And that hasn't happened for about, well, two of these tractors at least. So the 339 finally laid down, she spanked that sled.
Yes, he did.
And the alcohol boost unit of Mr. Vogt, a 304.
So, yeah, those are your leaders right now in the Corporate Services Borgo Eliminator Junior sled is heading on back into position. Yorkton New Holland tractor, they're working away, leveling it out. That ain't an easy job either, you know. You got to back and forth and back and forth. But with beautiful tractors like that from New Holland, I think that guy pulled the short straw. He didn't get the air conditioning and the radio and everything, but still excellent tractor to work with here.
They're doing a great job of preparing that track. It's been very, very fair for everybody.
And that's the thing, you want to try to make it even for everybody. So after somebody goes through and like what just happened, dug a couple of holes, we want to try to flatten it out, smooth it out, and then the packer goes through, pack that marshmallow stuff down again. And when we open up the pits, ladies and gentlemen, you're walking over there to check out the vehicles after, check out that track. It is soft, but it's obviously holding the horsepower today.
Big time, big time. Now, Carl Gat's going to give it a whirl out of V-Bank. He's got a 408 Dodge. Now, a 408 is a stroke 360. We talked earlier about the LA series of small blocks. We saw Monty run, and Justice had that little 360 in his little Model T. You can buy a kit that will bore and stroke a 360 block, turn it into 408 cubic inches. A lot of guys doing that on the drag strip. There's a lot of 408 small block Dodges out there. With the right combination of cam, cylinder head compression, in that configuration with a bigger bore and a longer stroke, they can make a lot of power. So we're going to see how Carl does here, see if he can get those back tires broke loose enough. This track is hooking so hard that those big cube engines cannot spin the tires. It's going to be interesting here.
Should be a good pull.
There's our rattlesnake.
Wow.
Yeah, he was on the wheel brakes big time there. Just couldn't get that baby under control. So much hook there that it is giving these guys a handful. That's pretty darn awesome.
So he calls that tractor Fistful of Dollars. Hey, he got a fistful of hell going on there, I think.
I think he's going to have to go back change his Stanfields on that one. He almost went out of bounds there. That's about as close as you can go without doing it.
Hey, you're allowed to use the whole track, so why not?
The problem is, when you go back and forth, you're going a long distance, but not that far forward, right?
Having that much fun, you might as well use it all.
Well, he got his dollar's worth out of that one, for sure.
For sure.
And I'm really going to be interested to see these Super Minis because this is one major league handful. I hope they got enough weight on the front of those hot rods. When those things cut loose, I've seen that. I'm sure you have too.
Yeah, I don't know who owns those two set of B trains, but I wouldn't park them there. I'm just saying.
Well, we'll see if they can control them. We just saw what Carl went through here. The Super Minis are going to be a midful for sure.
Yeah, so the difference between the Super Minis and the Minis, okay, so to me, they look the same, only they got bigger engines in them. Are they basically the same chassis?
To a point. They got to weigh 2,000 pounds. They've got supercharged alcohol-injected motors, so they're about a pound per horsepower. These guys here, 1,000 horsepower is top-notch, so that's about a half a pound, or a half a horsepower per pound. So the chassis has to be able to handle the twist, the torque of those bigger motors. And the design of that modifies it so that they don't crank those things in half. You see, pretty much everybody going down there runs tubular chassis, but they got to stiffen the chassis on those big hot rods so that they don't twist so much. What happens there, and again, it unloads the left tire, loads the right tire because of the torque of the motor. So that's all in the design of that chassis to stop that twist.
And speaking of design, Once again, I gotta thank Ron and the staff over at Yorkton Hyundai for bringing those beautifully engineered Hyundai sport utility right there. Just excellent, very, very safe vehicles. I own a tow company here in town, and I don't tow a lot of Hyundais. But, and that often should say something. If you're not towing them lots, they built a very good vehicle. So head on over to Ron and the staff over at Yorkton Hyundai. They will get you hooked up. Good used vehicle too. If you're in the market for a good used vehicle, they have an excellent selection there too.
And you know, you're right, Ron. My daughter drives a Hyundai. Actually, she bought it new when she first started nursing. And she loves that hot rod. She has nothing but good things to say about that rig.
Yeah, absolutely. Fuel economy, safe, good-looking vehicle. And they have every shade of color under. They have a heck of an inventory. You got to go over there and check it out.
Wayne Shell out of Swan River, Manitoba. 355, small block, with a little 471 supercharger on top. 471 denotes the size. So that blower, that style, was originally on a 471 Jimmy diesel. Uh-oh.
That's not good.
That is, again, the old powertrain issue.
That made a noise that most of these guys just had the hair come up on the back of their neck.
You got that right.
That's definitely something broke.
That is a coupling between the back of the transmission and the differential, or a crown and pinion, or a torque converter, something along that line. Now these guys pretty much all run automatic transmissions. You were talking about Turbo 400. Chevy had the slush box, the venerable 2-speed automatic. Everybody in the race, the oval track world, forever ran that slush box. A lot of guys run them on the drag strip, a modified version. Then they had the Turbo 350, which was in the cars and a lot of the light-duty pickups. Then the Turbo 400. This one has the Turbo 400, but there was no smoke coming out of there. So
yeah, I don't think the tranny gave up. It was definitely a connection of some type. And they have enough mechanics there to figure it out right now. And how does it work when you hook and you only go so far? What's the distance that you can go to get pulled back again and retry? Is that a thing?
Yes, it is. 75 feet.
So if you don't make the 75-foot mark, you can go back and re-pull again?
You can, but look at the sign up there, 85.42.
So he's over the 75-footer.
So they'll make a decision on that. Now, if that thing can be fixed, I don't know what happened there. That was something like Dallas said in the powertrain. They run a coupler from the back of the transmission directly to the differential. So the crown and pinion, that I don't think was a broken axle. If that was the case, one axle would spin, the other one wouldn't. Although these guys do run an open differential 99% of the time. Meaning no positive traction, no air locker, nothing in there to lock both wheels together, because they have to be able to steer it. So that's why the individual wheel brakes. So a broken axle will do that as well.
I was announcing at a mud race 2 weekends ago, and the first time I actually witnessed a connecting rod come out the side of a block. I've seen it, but I've not actually witnessed it. And wow, that makes an interesting noise. Big block Chevy threw her right out the bottom, took the corner of the block right out when it headed out.
Catastrophic oil pan failure.
Yeah, it kind of quit quick.
Well, actually, when we get into the smoker class, there's a little story about exactly that, Dallas. Back in Drayton Valley last year, one of the smokers on the Vanook team here, a 466 International, that thing was knocking pretty good when he started. And everybody, oh, he'll make the pass. Well, 10 feet out, there's 3 pistons, 2 connecting rods, a huge flame, and a ton of oil laying on the ground.
That's a costly stop, I bet.
You know what happened? It jumped out of gear. They're pulling
jumped out of gear.
I bet that's what happened. He jumped out of gear.
Well, let's
do it again.
They've yanked him back. We're going to see if we can get to see the Firewater one more time.
Wayne Shell out of Swan River, a supercharged 355 Chevy. Little baby blower on there. That's a very small blower. 1471 being the biggest. This is a 471. Well, not happening. That was not jumping out of gear.
Yeah.
That's a torque converter issue. There's no smoke. what that torque converter does, you guys, it hooks to the ring gear. The ring gear is on the back of the cylinder block. That torque converter is like a fan, and oil is forced in against some blades on there. Those blades will spin the input shaft on the transmission, and away you go. Now, there's a one-way clutch inside there on that turbine, and if that one-way clutch is called a sprag clutch. If that fails, that turbine just spins. It doesn't put power to the back wheels, Dallas.
All right, I want to once again thank some more of our VIP sponsors here. We have to definitely thank these guys right here. Saddles and Steels, one of the best sound systems I've ever used.
I so agree.
If you got an event going on and you need to rent top quality sound equipment, these are the guys to see. Saddles and Steel, thank you very much for your sponsorship and helping us out today. Of course, Federal Construction paved down Broadway, made it beautiful for us to get here to the Yorkton Exhibition Grounds. The Home Inn and Suites, Big D Farms, of course Larry with LT Motorsports, Assiniboine Valley Trucking, Yorkton Co-op, Bailey Boys Towing, Harvest Meats, and Logan Stevens. Thank you very much for your sponsorship.
And Larry, I got Larry on the brain here. I'm sorry, Dallas. We are going to change things up here. Now, we talked about noise. Now we're going to get noise. We're going to the Super Mini class. These guys are supercharged, alcohol-injected, 2,000-pound mini tractors. The same motors that we saw in some of the four-wheel drives. And we're going to be seeing in the two-wheel drive class as well. Put that in a mini tractor, and that's about what's going to happen. The next guy up here, Cody Christensen, out of Medicine Hat.
I just want to know, what goes through your head when you look at a little wee frame like that and you decide, well, let's put 2,000 horsepower in it and see if we can hold on to it. Like, how do you come up with that stuff?
It's all about adrenaline. I think that's
wow.
What they do usually, honestly, Dallas, when they start, before they start these things, they take your brain out, lay it on the tailgate of the truck, fire them up, and go pull.
Just like when I play hockey.
Demolition derby.
Tie up that last skate lane, you take your brain out.
So Cody Christensen, Cody's been doing this forever. His dad, Al, we saw him with a four-wheel drive. We're going to be seeing a really, really cool two-wheel drive coming up after the break here. But Cody started out with a Micro Mini. It was a
snowmobile. Did that was a
motorcycle, cross rock
motorcycle, right.
Yeah, Yamaha MG engine in a Micro Mini. Now, here's what him and Dad built.
Yeah, this is a little step up from what he was doing.
Right, 575 cubic inches of 1471 supercharged big block Chevy.
Big little alcohol injector right on top there.
One of the biggest blowers available on a 575 Merlin in a 2,000-pound mini tractor. These guys can pull upwards of 130 to 140 mile an hour rear wheel speed. Now he's probably not going to run out of power. So it's going to be a question of, did they get enough weight on the front end? Is this thing going to pull a big wheelie, or is it going to go down the truck? We'll find out.
We'll see. This is the horsepower that's going to do it. So ladies and gentlemen, if you don't have earplugs, you may want to hold the little one's ears a little bit on this one. Cody Christensen
comes to us from Medicine Hat. Can't wait to see what this is going to do with the hook these guys have. I've seen Cody go for some rides that were unbelievable.
Yeah, this is like a boa constrictor that is with a rattlesnake together.
And a bull rider.
Bull rider, exactly. If you guys got some cameras, I would get ready with your cameras too.
was no problem. He definitely was doing that.
He was yanking along that sled so fast the wheels were still spinning on the sled. Wow.
28.6 miles an hour he got out of that. So that didn't light up like I thought it would. It still held the traction. Wow, that clay.
But yeah, we're not spinning. But they said spinning's not winning, so.
Well, it's not, but wow, that thing usually buzzes about another 4,000 RPM higher than that, too.
Good job, Cody. Good job, Cody. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, who was the winner in the minis? We absolutely skipped over that.
We did. We got one more super mini. Yeah, we were so busy talking about everything else. But girls, ladies, let's put it together for Carly. And her little hot rod, she cranked out a 339.1, ladies. She showed the boys exactly how it's done.
I think she's still out in the parking lot, too. Like, wow, did she tug that?
Yeah, she had number 1. Sorry we missed that, you guys. Number 2 goes to the alcohol abuse unit, Mr. Volt with 30408. And number 3, unofficially, just got to go down the list here, 270, 289, Ratified. Looks like
Larry Hillworth with his Brad Blutoff driving.
Mr. Blutoff got number 3.
So the way it works, ladies and gentlemen, there is pool money put up for them to win. And so they actually pay down to like 7th or 8th place in big classes like this. But I'm not sure exactly how much some of these cost, but I think 7th place wins $50. Hey,
so you're here for the boys.
You're not in this sport to have a big bank account, that's for sure. If you got a tax problem, this is a sport to be in. You got to figure out how to write it off, but it's a farm tractor, right? Sure it is. That's how it all started.
Okay, one more to go here. Lethal Injection. Joe Hofford. 500 cubic inch Keith Black Penny. Now, if anybody can break those back tires loose, we're going to see what Joe can do here. We'll explain what a Henny means. I can explain all that for you if we get a minute here, but we won't do it right now because of the noise. But this hot rod is capable. I can't believe that Cody Christensen powered his motor down. That thing hooked so hard, he kept it on the ground. Really wasn't expecting that. We'll see if Joe can do it. This big old Keith Black makes at least 2,000 horsepower as well. And when things are right, that thing is in that 8,000 RPM range also.
We were talking earlier about Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. If you're into this kind of stuff, the Hopper Racing Team has a Facebook page. You got to check it out. I actually watched a video where Joe was driving this down the street in Odessa, Saskatchewan. And of course he was driving it nice. Yeah, right, Joe Hopper. He was parking on the throttle going down the main street, Odessa, pulling the wheels, absolutely. So check them out on Facebook. The Banook Racing Team has an incredible Facebook page. Check them out too.
Okay, let's see how Joe handles this. See if this big old Hemi can break those tires loose or what he's going to end up doing here.
This sport evolved from years and years and years ago, back in the day when tractors were just coming into the farming scene, and the guys that were buying the tractors were saying how much more horsepower they had, and they had to test it out.